Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is a guide to the Aetherochemical Research Facility. This dungeon underwent some changes in patch 6.3, and this guide has been updated to reflect them. Please like and subscribe. I'm releasing guides for every story dungeon and trial in the game, so you always know what's coming. Let's get started. The first boss is Regula van Hydrus. After a few seconds, he will spawn a turret which needs to be killed quickly or else it will explode and damage all players. The turret will tether to one player and shoot line AoEs in their direction, while the boss will also drop line AoEs elsewhere. Just step out of the markers to avoid the damage. Shortly after, he will spawn two turrets and continue with his own line AoEs. This time, one turret will behave just as the original one did, but the other turret will drop circle AoEs on random players. Just avoid all markers and burn the turrets before they explode. As soon as the second turret is destroyed, everyone needs to run to the boss, because he will cast a 270-degree AoE covering all but 1/4 of the floor, so this will make it easier to get to the safe zone in time. The second boss is Harmachis. He's a mechanical sphinx that does some easy-to-dodge AoE, but he morphs into 3 forms. One is called Anti-Cobra mode. He'll do one heavy hit on the tank, then shift back to the sphinx. Another is Anti-Naga mode, who casts Petrification. Just remember to look away when you see a large red eye. The third form is Anti-Machina mode. This is the worst one because he'll mark one player with an orange circle at their feet, then proceed to launch them in the air and deal extremely high damage to them. This can be prevented if another player runs and stands in the orange circle with them though. He'll cycle through these modes, occasionally hesitating in Sphinx form to toss a few AoEs until killed. The third boss is Lahabrea and Igeyorhm. They will both cast spells throughout the fight, and both will always be targetable. There is no kill order because the fight won't end until both are stuck at 0.1% health. Early on, one of them will usually cast Shadow Flare, which deals unavoidable damage to all players, just heal through it. Lahabrea will cast Fire Sphere, which will spawn 5 fireballs. Just stay away from them because they will explode after a few seconds. Igeyorhm will cast Grip of Night, a large conal AoE, so stay out of that marker. Lahabrea will cast Fire Sphere again, but this time it will be pairs of fireballs tethered to each other. This means they will be pulled together and collide on impact, so move to an edge that's far from the collision points. Igeyorhm will cast Circle of Ice, which spawns 4 balls of ice. Now you need to stand directly on one of the balls to avoid damage, because each will burst for donut AoE damage. End of Days is a line stack marker where all players need to stack or stand in a line to defuse the damage. Igeyorhm will cast another Circle of Ice, but this one is enhanced. One pair of spheres will be tethered and the other will not. The only safe place to stand will be the collision point between the tethered ones, as the other donut holes will be filled by neighboring AoEs. Darkfire 2 will put spread apart markers on all players. Just spread apart to avoid overlapping damage. Once both of them reach 1% health, you'll see a cutscene. After the cutscene, you will fight the final boss here, Ascian Prime. This one also casts Shadow Flare, and it behaves no differently. Height of Chaos is a simple tank buster, just use mitigation and healing as needed. He will cast Dual Star, which will spawn pairs of fire spheres and ice spheres at the same time. Pay attention to the length of the tethers, as the short ones will collide first. If ice spheres are colliding first, you'll want to run to their collision point first. Then immediately run to the edge to be safe from the fire collisions. If the fire spheres are colliding first, start by running to the edge away from the fire collisions, then immediately run to the center for the ice collision. Universal Manipulation will deal unavoidable damage and apply unremovable debuffs to all players. Just heal through it. A few seconds later, one of the debuffs will expire and cause each player to drop a donut AoE. Simply stack in the center to be safe from all of them. Then another debuff will expire and put spread apart markers on all players, just spread apart to avoid overlapping damage. After this, it will be a stack marker, so stack up. The final debuff expiration will cause pairs of players to be chained together, just separate from your chained partner to stop the damage. Entropic Flame is another line stack marker, just stack in a line to defuse the damage. With Arcane Revelation, the boss will summon a sphere and a meter labeled Ascian Prime's Power will appear. The group has to destroy the sphere before the meter fills or it's a wipe. During this time, many AoEs will appear on the floor to contend with. Just stay on your toes and burn the sphere. Once this is over, he'll do his big cast, which deals a lot of damage, but you'll survive as long as the sphere was destroyed. Now it's rinse and repeat until the Prime is dead. And that's it for the Aetherochemical Research Facility, updated for patch 6.3. Good luck, have fun, and see you next time.